Hi, I'm Diana, and welcome to part 2 of XAMonline's video series, Preparing for the Examination, Steps to Excellence. In the previous video, which can be found at XAMonline.com, we covered state guidelines, test dates, and other first steps that you'll need before taking the exam. Now that you know exactly what the requirements are for your state, it's time to master the way in which you prepare for the exam. We're here to provide you with some helpful study tips and testing tips that have proved useful with our colleagues and other teachers. Remember, how you study is just as important as what you study. Here are 8 simple study tips to help you retain and master the content of your study guide. You are what you eat. Certain foods aid the learning process by releasing natural memory enhancers called CCKs. These chemicals enhance the neurotransmitters associated with memory. A light meal of these foods while you're studying or before the test will definitely increase your retention. Learn to take great notes. Notes are clearer with proper formatting. One method that we recommend is the Cornell method. You can benefit from this method without having to purchase an additional book, simply by going to our website. See the forest for the trees. What I mean by that is understand the big picture of what you're reading before you get bogged down with the details. Take notes, paraphrase, and summarize in your own words. Putting the concept into your own words will increase your retention and understanding of the content. Question authority. Always ask why. Pull apart all of the material that you read. Read every caption. For example, if you read a heading, stream erosion, form some questions. Why do streams erode? What is stream erosion? Then search for the answers within the material. If you can train your brain to do this type of reading with a purpose and a focus, you will definitely retain more information. Play mind games. Using your brain for reading and puzzles will help keep your mind flexible. Even with limited time, your brain can take in data, kind of like a computer, and store it for later use, even if you only have 10 minutes available. You could read 2 paragraphs. You could quiz yourself with flashcards. Even if you're not fully understanding what you're reading, your brain will take in the information and store it for later use. This is why frequent rereading and review will help for retention and also comprehension. Place yourself in exile and set the mood. Create a study environment that best suits your needs. Choose a time to study that meets your own personal needs and biorhythms. If you're a night owl, burn the midnight oil. If you're a morning person, put on a pot of coffee and get to it. You also need to create a physical study environment that best suits your needs and is free from any distraction. Make sure you have all of the tools and materials that you need gathered and organized so that you can get right down to work. Also decide if you're a person who enjoys silence while you're studying, or if you prefer to have music. Studies have shown that classical music can aid in concentration, absorption, and retrieval of information. But this isn't true for all types of music. Get pointed in the right direction. Use arrows in the margins to point out passages that you think are important. Use highlight very sparingly. Stay on top of your study schedule. You need to make sure that you review all of the material before your exam, but make sure that you allocate the most amount of time to the areas that you need refreshing in. It sounds obvious, but it's easy to forget. So, now you have the essential study tips. Let's go over 7 testing tips that can help you decipher exactly what they're asking for on the test. Do not read into the questions. Don't assume that the test writer is asking for anything other than what is stated in the question. Read all questions and all possible answers twice. You may miss something by not reading carefully and then rereading each question and possible answer. If you really have no clue, skip the question and keep going. Subsequent questions might give you information or clues as to what the previous question was really asking. Always make sure that you go back and answer any questions that you've skipped. Turn the question into a statement. Looking at the wording of the question can often be helpful. The syntax of a question usually provides a clue. Does it sound more familiar as a statement rather than a question? Does it sound strange? By turning the question into a statement, you may be able to spot if an answer sounds correct, or it may trigger memories of material that you've already read. Look for hidden clues. It's difficult to compose multiple choice questions without giving something away in the options presented. In most multiple choice questions, you can readily eliminate one or two of the possible answers. This leaves you with only two real options, and automatically your odds go to 50-50. Trust your instincts. Go with your gut. Your first impression on an answer is usually correct. Mark your answers directly on the test booklet. Use your last 5 minutes of testing time transcribing your answers carefully onto the optical scan sheet. And lastly, watch the clock. You have a set amount of time to complete all of the questions and answers. Don't get bogged down with one question at the expense of all of the other ones that you can readily answer. Please visit our website at XAMonline.com. With over 300 titles, I know that we can help you succeed at your teacher certification examinations. Higher quality study guides make higher quality teachers.